So we are live on YouTube now.
Okay.
55 seconds in. But
try.
yeah, it seems like there's an API issue with X.
Yeah,
is
okay.
all it is.
Yeah.
So it's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can we? Let's see. Okay.
It's just how it is.
Is this how it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We can try it halfway through.
Yeah. I'm good with that. It's weird. Is StreamYard's studio, like, my screen looks so much darker than whenever I post it on, whenever I use Zoom or Google Meet. Does it look dark to you? Or is it just
Your
me?
screen looks dark to me, yeah.
Right. It's so weird.
It almost looks like there's like a scrim between you and it's just like fuzzed out a little bit.
Let me try the settings and see if there's some weird
camera.
Instalink, full definition, mirror, touch. Do that. Okay,
I'm looking to see. I don't think it did, but I'm going to look to see.
Is that? Still, it's like there's a film.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try one more thing.
There he is.
Settings. No, none. No, recording.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Shift videos, audio, avatars.
Oh, I don't want
camera.
Okay.
Instalink, full high definition. Why does it do it? It's so strange. It's only this app or only this service. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I do it like I've had Zoom calls all morning.
Oh, you look brighter now.
I just overcompensate. I'm a little green, but I'm going to try to fix that. I've had calls all morning and it's been great. But when I get up here, I notice that I just, so I'm just working on the brightness and no problem. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay. Let me, let's try this one more time. Not that it matters, but I do want.
That's the right one. I just tried them all.
You now died.
Yeah.
Bastards. Yep. Okay. I'm ready to go anytime.
All right. Let's do it. Here
Perfect.
goes nothing. We'll see if all this works. Nope, that didn't work. Oh, that's because I'm not recording. Hey.
Good to catch that. Okay.
Well, it's because I recorded the ads just before we got together. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Business Brain, episode 628 for Wednesday, March 5th, National Stop Bad Service Day 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take a few ideas and we crunch them, dissect them, use them to help tune our business brains so that we can each do a better job at living those charmed lives each day, those charmed lives each day. See that? Iteration is already happening first 10 seconds into the show. Well, it might be the first minute in. Our sponsor today is macaudio.com/brain. That is Rogue Amoeba software. They make some of the best audio software for your Mac. I couldn't record this show without it. I couldn't record any podcast. Literally every podcast episode of the 2,300 that I've recorded has been done with Rogue Amoeba software. Wow. And macaudio.com/brain, coupon code BRAIN gets you 20% off. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in sunny Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. Rogue Amoeba, they've been around forever, man.
They were around before I started creating my podcasts.
Amazing.
Because
that's cool.
I don't know if I was the first one to use their software, but I might have been to record a podcast. Certainly not the first one to use their software. Yeah, but it certainly just dawned on me that it was like, wait, there's this software that I can use to route audio inside my Mac, and obviously they've expanded quite a bit in the last 2 decades.
Yes, that's awesome. That's
great. It's great stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. Good to have him here. So
I have a thing that I was thinking about this past weekend as I was responding to an email, and it was an email trail that I had started on Friday, kind of as a coaching exercise for one of the sales reps here, just to show them, okay, look, this is how I'm going to approach this. Follow along, and then the next one you take and do this way, right? You know,
Okay.
so I mean,
Yeah.
kind of stuff happens all the time, totally normal. And so we sent them all the things they needed to send, and one of the main things that I was intending to coach was pacing. Like when somebody asks a question, we answer it, right?
Yes.
You know, and if they raise an objection, we do everything we can to address the objection so that there's no more objections left and they're ready to rock, right? And and just help them through the process. And
Sure,
so
makes sense.
Yep. So this all started on Friday. We got them everything they needed by end of day, and which they needed for a thing on Monday. So it was like, great, we'll just get it to them before we leave on Friday, and they're good to go. And on Sunday late, an email came in. Actually, it might have been midday Sunday or something, but I looked at my phone and I saw an email come in with a question. And it was a very easily answerable question. And I know for me that, and I don't know if this is good or bad. I want to address all of this.
Okay.
So I'll barf all this out, and then I want you to dissect it with me. So I know for me, for better and or worse, if my head is already in an email because I've read it and I know the answer, instead of delaying responding until later, I will just respond right away. Doesn't matter if it's
Just
10
knock
o'clock
it
at
out.
night, if it's noon on Sunday. My head's already in it. I have made the decision, a mistake or not, to look at the email. I'm already there. I can choose to come back to this and spend time on it again or never spend time on it. So I replied. And I started thinking twofold. I had two parallel thoughts. One was, is this the right thing for me? And maybe there's three parallel thoughts. B, the second one is, is it reasonable to train an employee, expect an employee to act the same way, or is this a dangerous path? And then it's like, C, am I training my customers?
Yeah.
I am training my customers. Is that a good thing? So all of that.
Yeah, I have a hard time not doing exactly that.
I know.
I want to be like super responsive, and I want that message to be in their inbox when they come in the morning.
If my customer's working on the weekend and I can help them, I want to do that.
I agree. I know. Yes to everything you said about bad habits, teaching my customer, training my customer, expecting it to my employees. But I do the same thing. I check my work email all the time, and we just came out. We're recording this on a Monday, so it's like my weekend is spent like, oh, what are you doing today? Well, I got these projects to do in the house. We were home last weekend.
Sure.
And both days was like, oh, and I got some office work. I need to go. I'm going to go up to my office and get some stuff done for an hour. And during that time, I answer those emails and send those responses and post that content. I've always done it, and I think it's a benefit.
Okay,
I do.
But how do you scale that, or can you? Is it realistic to expect your team to respond the same way? Because
No.
if I agree with that. I tell my team, do not listen to what I say, don't do what I do. But here's the problem. Then how do you delegate? How do I hand this off to people? The whole point of this particular exchange was to train and relinquish.
Yeah. Then you made a mistake.
Right.
You made an error, because unless you're just like, hey, if you're around and you can answer this quick, you should do it. Okay, that's okay. If it's a sales thing,
maybe that's the message I'm sending.
That is exactly the message you're
It's
sending.
not maybe.
That's it. Yeah. If it's a sales position, I'm sorry. Sales is all the time. If you want to get ahead and you want to stand out, I don't know what to tell you. You need to be answering emails on the weekend. I just think, or getting back to customers or responding in a workspace. I don't know. I think that's okay in a sales role. I think that is, and perhaps the way you do it is you say, look, if you're not around or you're not available, I don't expect you to answer these messages.
Then you're not available. Right.
It's okay. It's okay. If you're on your phone and you can answer a quick message, if you're at your desk because you're trying to get some stuff done and get ahead of the week, you might, if you want to try to impress this client or,
yeah,
if you want to achieve more,
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it. I don't know.
Because it really
depends on the role.
You're right. This is the message, and this is a hard thing to train. So maybe this is what we got to think about and get some feedback at businessbrain.show about is what I want to train is how to balance work and life without doing it by the clock, because they're like the same expectation is of myself. Like if I'm in the middle of something with my family,
yes,
and I'm not checking my phone, and then 4 hours later I look at my phone and I see that 3 hours ago this client emailed asking for a thing, and it happened to be a Saturday, or it even happened to be a Tuesday. Yeah. Like it's fine. I'll just answer it as soon as my head's in it.
Correct.
And that,
if your head's
I think,
not in it, you're doing a disservice to, in this case, your family, as well as you're doing a disservice to your client. Now, I also find myself in those conflicts all the time, and I wish I was better at keeping it separate, but I'm not. And so it is a constant. It's a constant battle, but I think you can train your team, and now it depends. Now, if it's an admin person or a customer service person or I don't know, whatever,
non-sales.
Let's say non-sales. Unless you're paying them a certain way, then I don't think you can expect them to do that. But for a sales position, man, I just think you're on all the time.
All right, folks, I love talking about the tools that make running a business easier. Well, when it comes to recording this very podcast and literally every other podcast I do, I couldn't do it without the software from our sponsor, Rogue Amoeba. Seriously, if my Mac lost Loopback, Audio Hijack, or Farrago, I'd probably have to record this show on a tin can and some string. It probably wouldn't sound all that good to you. Rogue Amoeba makes the best Mac audio tools, period. Want to route audio between apps? Loopback does it effortlessly. Need to capture any sound on your Mac? Audio Hijack is a total game changer. And their new Whisper AI-powered transcription, yep, you heard that right, it turns everything I say into text right on my Mac. No cloud, no nonsense, just fast, accurate transcriptions. If you're running a podcast, a business, or just want the ultimate control over audio, you need Rogue Amoeba. Check out their apps at macaudio.com/brain. That's macaudio.com/brain. Plus, through the end of May, because you're a Business Brain listener, you can save 20% with code, BRAIN. So macaudio.com/brain, code BRAIN, 20%. This is a no-brainer. See what I did there? Live your charmed life with better audio. Go grab Rogue Amoeba's stuff today. And our thanks to our friends at Rogue Amoeba for sponsoring this episode. Shannon, while I was reading the ad there, we got a comment in real time from a LinkedIn user about the topic we were just talking about. And they ask, how could delay sending that email benefit your behaviors and not set unrealistic expectations of the customer?
Well,
I'm not sure that it does.
I don't think it does. I think it does send. I think it sets a expectation of the customer that you're hustling and that you want
by not delay sending it.
Yeah,
by sending it immediately.
By sending it. So it's kind of flipped.
Right. So delay sending, meaning write the email and then say send it at Monday morning at 9 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
To train the customer.
Yes.
And in some scenarios, that's actually a really good idea.
It is a good thing. Yeah.
Because it gets it out of your head. You don't have to revisit it on Monday. But you're not training the customer that you're going to be available for them all the time. Now, for everything non-sales, I love this tactic.
So do I.
I need to employ this tactic. However, for sales stuff, I still think the immediate send is the key. Because I had a conversation with one of my salespeople last week.
Yeah.
Where they said, oh, I finally heard back from so-and-so about this thing we proposed them. But I don't think we need to get back to them right away. They waited 3 days to reply to us. And I said, oh, no. We can't presume motive here.
Correct.
We don't know why it took them 3 days. They might have been out of the office. They might have just tabled it until they had time to really consider it. But the fact is, we just got an email from them, which means now is the time they are considering it. We got to get back to them right away. Otherwise, we might be adding 3 more days after we send it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when somebody, if a sale is hot, meaning if a client or a potential client is on top of things and asking you questions, answer them as quickly as you can. That's how I approach sales. It might be intellectually and psychologically unhealthy. But
no. Well, maybe, but I think that it's.
I think it probably is.
Yeah, I think context is really important here. And so along that line, I want to read. Let me see if I can find it. I want to read a post that a guest that we had on a couple months ago, maybe month ago, Noel Halal, who from Iris Tattoo and Piercing. This guy, he's building like the Apple Store of tattooing and piercing. It's fantastic. It's really an interesting guy. He's a great follow on X. So I want to read this post, and it really made me stop and think. Noel wrote, hot take. If your business runs 100% without you, it means you sold it, only no one paid you for it, and all the risk is yours. And I read that. I was like, wait, what? And so he added some context. If your business operates entirely without you, that's not financial freedom. It's a silent sale where you kept all the liability but none of the rewards. A business that truly runs on its own is either an asset generating passive income or an entity you've successfully exited for a price. If you're still carrying the risk, still responsible for failures, and yet not actively steering the ship, then you've effectively handed over ownership just without the paycheck to show for it.
All right, so there's a dichotomy happening in his statement here. There's a conflict because he says a business that truly runs on its own is either an asset that generating passive income, and let's stop right there, not the or. So if it is an asset generating passive income,
you're getting
you
something.
You still are carrying the risk.
You are,
and still responsible for the failures. Is that bad? Because that doesn't seem so bad.
No, but I think what he's saying is you're letting someone else make decisions. Someone else is steering the ship.
Oh.
So in essence...
So it's like owning stock in a company that pays dividends.
Yeah.
I mean, it is owning stock in a company that pays dividends.
Yeah, but you're also at far more risk. Right.
Yeah. Well, if you own, you're not owning the same percentage of stock in the asset. That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah,
so,
I see what you're saying.
And I thought it just made me really think about, there's all this talk you hear about, passive income, but it's just an interesting way to look at it that I've never considered because I've stepped aside from, I got an operator on this and that. I'm getting payment, basically a dividend, and someone else is operating the business. But at the end of the day, man,
if they walk away, you're holding the bag.
Or something bad happens, you're all of a sudden, you're like, you're dragged back in, but not in a good way. So There's a little
Well,
hyperbole
this makes
here.
me this. Of course, it is. It's intended
Yes,
to. It was
yes.
posted on X, so
Yes.
it has to go through that filter.
Be a little polarizing. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it makes me think about something I can't dive into right now for confidentiality reasons, but a thing we've got going on that it makes me like this is going to stick with me.
It's a thought provoker.
What I am concerned with this line of thinking can excuse the control freak in us all from not letting ourselves delegate enough.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like there is that risk
I understand
too.
that. Yes.
But he's not wrong. I want to make it clear. Like there's a lot of sort of parallel things that don't all necessarily agree with each other happening here.
Yeah.
And he's articulated some of them, and then we've articulated three more.
There's a lot of nuance to add about, well, what is the reward I'm getting?
Well, and how much makes sense to back off. So being completely out of it and someone else is steering the ship and you're checking in once a month at most, that is the scenario he's sort of painting here, where you're hands off and your eyes off.
Yeah.
But you still have all the liability and it could be that someone is slowly eroding the value away without you getting paid for that value going away, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying. But holding the reins entirely and not delegating any of it.
That's a problem too.
Also
of course.
a problem.
Of course.
So
Yes.
so it's a reminder that there's a middle ground here and probably a way of handing things off such that you are being paid for that. And it might be, you've got somebody else running it and they are buying the company from you over time. So that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think whatever you do, you have to structure it in some way that reward offsets this liability that he's talking about.
Yes.
Like, okay. Yeah. I ran this business and I was taking out $200,000 a year, and now I have a supervisor, general manager, operator, and now I'm taking less. I'm only pulling it out, I don't know, $100,000 a year, for example.
Yeah. Right.
Is that worth the risk of whatever that risk is, right? Where's the scale, the balance? It's just the same thing as that. When do you give up, right? When someone can do 75% or 80% of your work, there's that balancing back and forth. But it's definitely worth thinking about, and reminded me of, if you're not steering the ship, as he says, what could happen in a negative manner, and you're someone else is controlling your revenue.
Your destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, your destiny.
Or your company's destiny anyway. Yeah.
And I know you have to do that to grow. These guys with holding companies, and I own 10 businesses or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would imagine there are controls that you have to put in place to avoid this from happening, so that you can get whatever reward you're able to get from the business and limit your liability as much as possible.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
What do you think? Feedback at businessbrain.show. The other thing is, you want to win a free MacBook? businessbrain.show/reviews. Leave us a review and we'll get you entered to win.
Businessbrain.show/reviews or /review. Either one. They both work. Leave a review. Then send us an email. Feedback at businessbrain.show so we know you did. And that'll be that. Keep living the charmed life. We'll see you on Friday. All right.
Awesome. That's great.
We are between the episodes, and I am leveraging all kinds of software from Rogue Amoeba at the moment.
That's really good. That's good. I was going to try to go live one more time on X.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't
see if it'll work.
I didn't even see us live on LinkedIn, but it does say we're live. Okay, great.
Oh yeah, we're live. What's interesting is it shows no viewers.
But then I saw the question came in. Oh,
yeah,
that's
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Let's see if it works. Nope. So their API must be down or something.
Yeah, something's foobar.
Something's going on. Okay, so I don't have to talk through. We don't. Who knows how many people are listening?
We have no idea how many people are listening.
So
that's fine.
Normally,
say something. If you see us, say something.
Say something. That's it. Yeah. Normally, this is where I explain what Dave's doing because I'm trying to prattle on and not have silence. But this time, I don't think I have to do it as much.
We don't know how many people are out there.
Yeah,
We don't get to see
That is
audio
good.
hijack. Yes.
You would have seen it. Let me see. Live stream.
Okay, up that goes. And this goes. Desktop.
Here.
That's
Until our podcast, our 3-5 show.
that's great. Come on, go.
Favorite
Go.
podcast app. Okay.
Excellent. 628.
All right.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, man. That whole
It is tough.
people working on the weekends and
Yeah, I don't know how to get away from it. I've just always done it, and
I
it
know.
sounds good, but no.
Yep. Well, and I think we're the wrong people to ask probably, but I think we decided that if you're in a sales role, which if you're running a business, you are also in a sales role.
Yes.
Then that's just how it be.
That's how it be, man. Yep.
And plus it's smart. Like the idea of not having to spend brain power on it twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that especially, if you look at it and then you put it away,
If I can deal with it
Yes,
in the
yes.
same amount of time that I've already spent on it, or a modestly incremental amount to reply to
Yes.
an email or something.
No, I
I'm
totally
not
agree,
interested.
man.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
All right.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna buy
Okay. I'm ready to
Ready?
rock.
I'm ready to rock too. Let's do it for
Oh,
Friday.
wait. I say I'm ready to rock.
Somebody
I
at
gotta move.
LinkedIn user says something.
That's all
awesome.
right.
Probably
Nicely
the same-
done.
Probably the same guy.
Nicely done.
Okay.
Something
So we're doing
in the way you type. All right.
Friday 3/7. Great.
Okay. Yep. Here we go. 628. So the next one will be. Oh, no, this is not 627.
No. It's
This is 629.
29. Yeah.
I was going to say, I know I have these numbers. I have the date right. I
Yeah.
do not have.
629. Then the next two are 630, 631.
Yavel. All right. There we go. That's better. Let's do it. Here we go. Business Brain, episode 629 for Casual Friday, March 7th, National Employee Appreciation Day 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas and we analyze them, we dissect them, we use them to help tune our business brains so that we each can lead those charmed lives with a little more skill, a little more knowledge than we could the day before. Our sponsor for this episode is Rogue Amoeba, where at macaudio.com/brain and code BRAIN gets you 20% off the best audio software for the Mac, hands down. They've got so many great things, and I'm using some of it right now. Here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. How are you, man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Here we are again. I like it.
On
I like it.
Friday I.
Friday AI. In fact, yeah, we got
Yes.
an email from Jonah Falculin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Jonah. Sometimes I talk to AI when I'm bored. I ask silly questions, and AI is fun and entertaining and even informative. What I really love is that AI can provide interesting and informative conversations on a wide range of topics, from science and history to entertainment and culture. However, as a mom with a grade school daughter, I limit her use of AI to encourage active learning. I wanted to view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning rather than relying solely on AI for answers. I have things to say about this.
Me too. That's a good one.
You want to start or you want me to start?
Well,
Go.
is this I guess I'll start. Is this the you can't use calculators on the test type of thing, where that's what it was like when I was in school. You're like, wait, why shouldn't I be able to use a calculator?
I think there's that happening, but I don't think this is what Jonah's talking about. I think Jonah's pretty AI positive.
Yeah, seems like it. So
yeah.
She's trying to ensure her daughter is thinking through the process, not just relying on something to give her the answer. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. That's how I'm interpreting this.
Yeah,
I don't think that that's something we should limit to just children.
Yeah.
I like this is for me too. And in fact, if you're looking at with today's iterations of the LLMs, the various ChatGPT and Gemini and all the others,
yep,
they're not the best at simply delivering answers. Now, some of the deep research stuff that each of them are doing, that has increased accuracy quite a bit on just being sort of hands-off research gatherers and synthesizers of data, but they often get things wrong still.
With almost every time I use it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So teaching your daughter, Jonah, and really teaching all the rest of us not to rely on it for the answer, but to use it as an assistant whose work needs to be checked, is a great thing. I think that's how I use too. AI most of the time. I am guilty at times of just saying, go find me the thing. I'll just believe this. But that's not always right.
We do a Google too, right?
We do it with everything. Correct.
Yeah. No, that's a great tip. And I think it's, I do like the concept. I think that, there's a guy that I follow. Aaron somebody or other. I can't remember his username right now, but he's a teacher, he's a professor, and his whole concept is bringing AI into the classroom instead of trying to fight against it.
Yes.
And I
different conversation from what Jonah brought up, but
yes,
but I'm ready to have this one too. Let's go.
It's a good topic to try to bring at some point and to discuss, because I think it's the same with your business. It's trying to how do you maximize the benefits without relying on it too much and not making you think and your brain turn to mush.
I had an interesting issue with effectively this, but it was decades ago, so it wasn't AI. I wrote a term paper. It was 10th grade. It was the first time I was writing a term paper, and our teacher explained the process, and the process was going to be you research, you write your rough draft, you submit your rough draft. I will review it and then review it with you, show you all the things you did wrong, and it's the edit process, and it's teaching you how to research and write. So I loved it. Great. Yeah. I mean, it sucked at the time. Don't get me wrong, but great value in this, right? So I did the assignment and I submitted my rough draft. Now, we had an Apple IIc at home, and so I did my research and I typed my rough draft into the word processing app, whatever it was at the time, on my Apple IIc. I printed out the rough draft and I submitted it. And my teacher said, "So this is not the rough draft. You were supposed to submit your rough draft, not the final." I'm like, "Well," I said, "some version of you haven't read it yet. I think we'll all agree this is a rough draft."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, but you typed it." I'm like, "Well, I typed it into my computer so that when we do edits, I can just go and edit the stuff on the computer, and then I'll print the final once we're done." She's like, "Well, that's not fair. The rest of the class hand wrote theirs and then is going to have to go and type it again." I said, "Yeah, I got that." As I understood the assignment, it was not about the mechanics of the grunt work of typing and writing. In fact, I would argue I'm getting more out of this because edits for me are a non-issue. I want to learn how to do this, and there's no friction from going and doing an edit. In fact, we could do 3 rounds of drafts. It doesn't matter. It's not like I have to type it and figure out, does it fit in the page? Like, all that stuff's gone. And she was like, "Well, if you are unwilling to write your handwrite your rough draft, I will fail you on this project." And I marched her down to my guidance counselor's office, and I explained exactly what I just did here. And when I finished, my teacher went to, plead her case. And I'll never forget this because it was one of the first times the administration was on my side and perhaps one of the last. My guidance counselor's hand went up and said, nope, stop. He is 100% right. Oh, I finished my diatribe with, and by the way, within 5 years, I might be the first person that did this, but everyone's going to be here. And obviously I was right. And I knew I was going to be right. And my guidance counselor's hand went up and said, he is 100% correct. This is how we will be teaching this class very soon. And we might as well start today. He's going to get more out of this than every other student in that classroom because they're hung up on how they're going to get their thing typed right now. And that is no longer a concern of his.
Yeah.
And she said,
I like it.
You will not penalize him 1 point for this. My teacher was so pissed.
I also like it's you're telling the 10th grade story, but it's adult Dave's
version, retelling
it. Yeah, I marched her down to the
I did march her down.
I got it. I need to see it. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. I said, let's go to my guidance counselor right now. Yeah. And she's like, awesome. What do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm going to go down there and tell this to her. Yes. You're welcome to come with. And she decided to join. Yeah. Because she wanted the opportunity to plead her case, which she, as it turns out, did not get. All right, folks, I love talking about the tools that make running a business easier. Well, when it comes to recording this very podcast and literally every other podcast I do, I couldn't do it without the software from our sponsor, Rogue Amoeba. Seriously, if my Mac lost Loopback, Audio Hijack, or Farrago, I'd probably have to record this show on a tin can and some string. It probably wouldn't sound all that good to you. Rogue Amoeba makes the best Mac audio tools, period. Want to route audio between apps? Loopback does it effortlessly. Need to capture any sound on your Mac? Audio Hijack is a total game changer. And their new Whisper AI-powered transcription, yep, you heard that right, it turns everything I say into text right on my Mac. No cloud, no nonsense, just fast, accurate transcriptions. If you're running a podcast, a business, or just want the ultimate control over audio, you need Rogue Amoeba. Check out their apps at macaudio.com/brain. That's macaudio.com/brain. Plus, through the end of May, because you're a Business Brain listener, you can save 20% with code, BRAIN. So macaudio.com/brain, code BRAIN, 20%. This is a no-brainer. See what I did there? Live your charmed life with better audio. Go grab Rogue Amoeba's stuff today. And our thanks to our friends at Rogue Amoeba for sponsoring this episode. How are you using AI, Shannon?
This week, let me tell you a story. I did this last week, but it's relevant. It was after our
doesn't matter.
Previous show. Yeah, it doesn't matter when I did it. So I got hired by a person that works for a business, needed some help kind of formulating their sales plan. They didn't feel like they were connecting with their audience very well. And their company, the service that they offer, which I won't talk about, but it's pretty complicated. And I said, okay, yeah, no problem. Glad to help you. They booked a call, everything. So in the meantime, I said, okay, I need to figure this out. I know nothing about this service that the company offers. So I went up, I saw, they have they have social media accounts, of course. And I went up to X just to see if they had one up there. And I said, great. So I went over to Grok, which is the X AI. And I said, hey, give me the lowdown on what this company does and the services they offer, but tell it to me. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, what they're doing. So break it down.
Yeah, keep the jargon out of it.
Keep the jargon. And so, that was the first part. It's just great. Very obvious, kind of broke it down. I said, okay, cool. And so I got a handle on it. And then I went back to the individual's account. And I went to Grok and I said, compare these two accounts and tell me what this person is this person selling this product correctly? And Grok said no. And it was very interesting. And Grok said, I'll give you a breakdown of what worked, because they base their no on the success of this person's engagement.
Okay. All right.
Trying to sell this product and trying to do work for this business. And Grok, said, okay, here's how they could be doing a better job. And so I was able to break down just a complete detailed deep dive into thousands of posts that the company had made.
Yeah.
And then hundreds, maybe 1,000 posts that the salesperson had made. And I was able to find a disconnect between what each account was doing. And Grok offered up and said, here's how to connect these two messages. Here's how to bring it together. Here's how to portray it in a way that's not overly complicated. And so when I had the call, which was this morning, I was just so much more prepared because I had learned the basic stuff that the AI would do. Tell me about this company, yada, yada, yada. But it also did this, and I didn't really ask it to do it, but it showed me here, this is this disconnect between the message here and the message here. And when I portrayed that to my client, it was shocking. And when they were like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not explaining that part of it. I'm not, they weren't leaning into the true value proposition. And I don't want to be specific.
No.
It would be
you
a
don't
stronger
need to
argument,
be.
but I can't be specific.
Well, you've made the argument, at least to me here, that, we've been talking this whole episode about what AI is good at and what it's not good at.
Yes.
And one of the things it's great at is looking at a massive set of data and synthesizing, summarizing even what it does. And then you took two summaries, essentially, right? A summary of one account with a certain focus and another, and the same focus on this other account, and related the two and compared the two. And these are the things that AI currently is, A, it's great at it, and B, even if it wasn't great at it, it's fast at it. Dude, and so you're able to look at the results, and you using your human, your wet mind, your wet computer there, able to say, yes, this is correct. Or you might look at it and say, please take a look at this again and let me nudge you in a different direction here.
Right.
That didn't seem like it was the case with yours, but in a general sense, that might be what you would have had to do if it had gotten off track or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when I did it, and I got those results that were really powerful, and then I presented them in a way that I thought was easier to kind of
to digest,
to grok, if you will.
Nicely done.
But then
I'm going to have to use this.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
When I thought about it, I said, well, why couldn't I go to two different accounts in the same industry?
Yes.
One that is far more successful than another, and have Grok tell me why this account has 100,000 followers and it's very successful, and this other account that's in basically the same industry, why that one is. And it proceeded to tell me. It said,
of course it did. This is what, I mean, you're using Grok, for those of you who don't know, Grok is X's AI engine. So it's a regular large language model with a specific tuning on X, right? So these kinds of questions are exactly the right thing to use Grok for. What do you need? What kind of account on X do you need in order to use Grok?
There's a free version, but there's to get access to the one called Deep Search and the other one's called Deep Think. I'm a Premium Plus, I think. I'm a Premium Plus member, but...
what is Premium Plus? What do you pay for Premium Plus?
I think I pay $30 a month.
Okay, got it. So it's more than the $8 a month of the regular premium member or whatever, verified or something.
And you get a bunch of other stuff because I run a business on X, so you get analytics and different things and all this kind of stuff. But you can also just subscribe to Grok. You can download the app in the Apple Store or on the Android Store. I don't know what that costs, but you can just subscribe by itself, I think.
Got it.
Sure.
Okay.
And so, it was impressive, because it just like made those connections that were just not obvious to me. And I think you should not ignore it, because if you're, and you could use a different, maybe you could go to ChatGPT and have it go analyze 2 of these social accounts too. Like if you have a company.
Oh yeah, that's true. Why not?
Right. I'm not sure it's just Grok, but you could go and say, look, I want to grow my company's exposure and engagement on Instagram. Okay.
Yes.
Well, in this, if you were in, I don't know, let's say you're in the, I don't know, just pick landscape business.
Sure.
And you say, okay,
let's say you're in the podcast business.
Podcast business. Who is in the top? Yeah. What is the best account on Instagram that's getting the most engagement? And it'll tell you, boom, it'll come up. And then you say, why? How is it?
And compare it to mine, and give me the next 5 steps to do.
Correct. How do I get my account to that? What best practices can I implement? Create a plan for me or for my employees. So if doesn't matter. Sure. Doesn't matter. If you've got a social media group, people say, what are the steps to get us to that account? What are we not getting that they are? And that's pretty wild, man.
Now we have to end the episode here, because I need to go do this right away.
Anyway, if you've used Grok, I'd like to hear how you've used it and what you like about it. Feedback@businessbrain.show. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Feedback@businessbrain.show. And also go to businessbrain.show/review. Leave us a review, and we'll enter you into a drawing for a MacBook this year. Keep living that charmed life. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
And we're out. Sweet.
Nice.
We're back to being between episodes, because we are doing a double batch today.
We are. We're doing a...
you want to try and publish us to X again?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let me see.
I'll let you do that while I'm twiddling my thumbs here.
Okay, let's see. Oh, we are live now on X. Okay, let me take your account live. And I'll take Business Brain live. Oh,
great.
Yep, there we go. So they must have fixed the API. Great. Awesome. So if you're just joining us, we actually recorded a couple episodes because the X API was slogging.
Not letting this happen. Are we sure we're live on X?
Yeah. Well, let me see. I see eyeballs. No, it doesn't. Yeah, well, X, it says.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know where your account doesn't show up yet, but it will. I heard an explanation of certain behavior the other day, and I'm going to try to using this term more, which I really like. And I'll use an example. The X API was acting a little greasy today, and we could not. Yeah, it was greasy. And I thought, well, that's an interesting way to describe. It was a weird description of somebody wasn't doing something right, and it was like, well, that's kind of greasy. It's like, huh?
Yeah, I don't like that term. Because like in my world, if we're playing a funk groove that sounds really good, it's greasy.
Greasy's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Okay. Oh, that was greasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that's a different context. Yeah.
Different context for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, we're going to record 2 episodes that are going to air not this week, but the week after, because Dave is going to South by Southwest, and
that's where I'm going.
I'm actually going to be in Tahoe from part of that.
Oh,
so
nice. That worked out
really
well.
Yeah, it's terrific. I'm going to be up in Tahoe, leaving in a couple days, which is great. So we're going to record an episode for March 12th and another episode for the 14th, and we have some great things to talk about that you'll want to stick around for. So I can't wait to do it.
I will say though that the episode we just recorded for the 7th, you're gonna want to, if you are watching this stream, you're gonna want to check that one out.
Yeah,
so that'll come out on the 7th. Make sure to subscribe to the show. Go to businessbrain.show and subscribe there, or in your favorite podcast client.
We talked about a new AI trick that I learned that just blew my mind.
Oh, this is a disaster.
As a business owner, you want to know. Uh-oh.
Well, Auphonic is not letting us upload files. I wonder if there's I'm wondering if the issue with, exactly. If there's some
Interesting.
some issue.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see. Where's the set? Explorer.
We may have been, I may have stopped that one too early, but
30 billion. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if there's any outages that I didn't. Wow, Anthropic just raised $3.5 billion.
I believe it.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I don't see anything about stuff being down. Interesting.
Okay, here's 628.
Okay.
All
right.
Hang on. All right, let's save that. Okay.
Oh, with Claude. I don't use Claude that much.
This is interesting. Choose file.
Does it do it?
I don't. I have used Claude, but not much.
Okay. If you joined us for the live stream and you've used Claude AI before, let me know. Hit me up on X, send me a DM, or send an email to feedback@businessbrain.show how you use it. As I don't know much about it, but I feel like I should. Continue with Google.
That one's going. Come on, man. Go. Okay, that's going to. So 1618. What's this? 1643. Okay. We are, maybe we'll see where it winds up.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I outsmarted myself here.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. No, this is an unrelated thing.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't like when I do that. But, Oh.
I like how Claude's Pro version, it says what you get. Everything in free plus more usage than free. How much more?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Early access to new features for $18. Interesting. Share and collaborate with others. Fascinating. Okay, so
I'm almost there.
You're almost done? Great.
Yeah.
We had little technical issues, but
well, I stopped the upload of 628 because it was at 56% when we finished 629.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We talked
that doesn't check
20
out.
minutes.
Yeah, and I'm on a
crazy.
fiber connection. Although it always uploads slowly. So there's that one. That's going. That's going. They seem to be going slowly, but
surely
better. Yeah, we'll say.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Great. That's good.
Trepidationally. Is that a word? Let's see.
Trepidatiously? I don't know.
Trepidatiously. Oh, I like that. That sounds better.
It sounds, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see about those uploads and how they do while we are recording.
Okay, great.
6:30, which I am about ready to start.
Great.
Yeah, these are
They're getting there. They're just taking
crunching along. Yeah, we'll see where we go. Okay.
Cool.
This is going to be that one. I have it here. We're there, and let's rock.
Cool.
Business Brain, episode 630 for Wednesday, March 12th, National Alfred Hitchcock Day, 2025. Maybe that means this episode's for the birds. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas, we crunch them, we use them, maybe we look at them through our rear window to tune our business brains to better live our charmed lives each and every day. Shopify.com/businessbrain is our sponsor for this episode. That's where you can go to sign up for a $1 per month trial period. We will talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And in Lafayette, California, I am Shannon Jean. How are you, man?
I'm good. And this week I will be at the the South by Southwest conference. Close. What was the Alfred Hitchcock movie?
Yes, I knew where that was. Two bad dad jokes in a row.
I threw the rear window thing in there too. That's three.
Yeah.
That's three.
You're out. Strike, you're out. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's good. Yeah, that's great. I always like hearing about that show and seeing what goes on out there. Should be interesting.
Yeah, every year with South by Southwest is different, and I am eager to see how this one actually comes out. The schedule, it evolved so late in the process. Like it was a week out that I saw some major things sort of drop into the schedule. Yeah, it's sort of bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. So I never really, I have an idea of what I'm going to be encountering there, but I never really know until I'm done.
That
and that's
one you
fine.
don't plan as much. You just kind of.
Oh no, I plan the crap out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
But it's the one that I probably call the most audibles on. I've learned to double or triple book myself at any point in time, so that no matter where I am, I can be like, all right, yep, it's going to be that. But sometimes it's well, I didn't have this particular thing on my list, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You just casually gently extract yourself from the other meetings in a polite way. And
it's all everybody. It's kind of the way things go.
I see.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be like to do South by Southwest with like a partner, a business partner, or like trying to coordinate going through that with another human's desires of the things they'd want to see. There's so many things going on at once that what I've told anybody that says, oh, I want to go to South by Southwest, you can show me what to do. Like, yes, I will show you what to do. You are welcome to follow me around, but I will never choose to do something because you want to do it. If you want to do it, you go do that.
Yeah.
That's the best way I've found for this thing to work. You know,
I like
it's just,
it. Yeah.
We can split,
sense.
We can meet together. It's totally fine. Yeah. It's all
trying
good.
to do it at the same time is a disaster.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Hey, I saw a post, or somebody pointed it out to me actually, that I thought plays into. We've talked about this kind of in the past a little bit, and I wanted to read it here and get your take on it.
Okay. Yep. Lay it on me.
And Michelle Penzek, which is at Michelle PenCZ, which we'll post in the show notes at businessbrain.show. She posted, I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but sharing what you accomplished is a reverse to-do list.
Huh.
And I thought, wow, because we have this concept here in the show that I've talked about ad nauseum about a to-did list, right?
Yep.
Which is taking taking a look at the end of the day of what you got done and recognizing all the little things that you might have missed and putting it on your to-did. I don't like the to-do list concept as much because I'd much rather kind of jump in and out. I have a different framework for getting things done. But I like this idea. And I like sharing and talking about what you've done, not what you're going to do. I think it's much more powerful when you frame your conversations with, when this happened, I worked on this project and I did this, instead of, which is what most people talk about, I'm going to do this. I'm starting this. I'm buying this. I just think it's more powerful if you invert and talk about, just try. Sometimes it's hard, but just try to talk about things you got done.
I don't disagree at all with you. However, I want to ask a clarifying question. Is this only for external talk, or is this also for self-talk?
Oh, I think it's self-talk. You should definitely talk about what you've got done. But I think you also, the self-talk, you need to talk about your story, your future.
Yes.
Where you will be, because that pulls, like speaking just for myself, that pulls me forward. Oh, I'm going to be at, when I'm, it's a system that I use to, I always say it's like living, tell your story in reverse, right?
Right. Find the ending, figure out how to get there.
And then back yourself out. And then you're already, in your head, you've already accomplished that. You train your moist robot brain to accept the fact that you visualize yourself there. In my world, in my frame, I visualize myself telling the story of the accomplishment sitting around a campfire. That's my power base. I love sitting around the fire. I love telling stories. And so I've had some success at telling stories that from the past. In my head, I use it to tell stories in the future.
Yeah. No, I that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Now, we talk about the to-did list here a lot. Are you someone who creates a to-do list for yourself, or like a written or a recorded to-do list? You might have an idea in your head of what you're going to do, but do you have a to-do list when you approach each day?
No, I have my calendar because I
Okay.
understand that that's going to put some boundaries in my
Yes.
schedule. And I have what I call an open calendar, so clients can schedule my time.
Sure. But
right.
how do you, what about reminders? I
use reminders all the time.
Okay. So
All the
you
time.
do have, so you are using a to-do list based on your reminders.
That's a reminder, Dave, not a to-do list.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't like
okay.
to-do lists, but reminders, I walk around with my phone all the time.
Yes.
Remind me to do this tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Remind me to call this person tomorrow at 11 a.m. Remind me to that's a constant in my life.
Okay, so this is, and I don't want to discount this. In fact, I want to highlight this. This is a phrase difference.
Yes,
you have reminders that are things you chose to remind yourself of to do, which is not in the moist robot range or brain is not the same as I have things I have to do. It's things I want to remind myself to do. I want to remind myself, not I have to do. I want to do.
Yeah, as we discussed a couple episodes, I spend my day on the hunt for dopamine, right?
Yes.
I'm looking.
Yes.
I mean, I think all of us do it. So I'm looking for this, and the surest way to suck the dopamine out of my head is to look at a big long list of things I have to do, even though I know I have to do those things. For me, I present them in a way that during my day they pop up on my computer or on my phone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I want to
I want to do this.
Yeah. I want to call Dave. Oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that. So it's just how you present it, and it's just a system that works better for me. I know that I definitely have like ADHD, and part of the ADHD is not wanting anyone to tell you what to do.
Right.
But the other side of ADHD is needing to be told over and over because you get distracted.
Because you gotta do it. Yes.
It's a bad combination.
Yes.
Yeah. So the using the technology, I slip around that concept of something telling me what to do, like some gross looking list.
No, it's just that term change from
it's a term change.
Yeah,
have to want to, and I don't see them all at once. Right, I trick myself.
Oh,
they pop up during the day, so I'll say at 9 a.m. do this, at 9:30 do this, at 10 a.m. do this. And so I don't have that big list. It kind of unrolls itself throughout the day, which I know from my own experience is a better approach for me.
All right. So you know that we're all about working smarter, not harder. And that's exactly why I use our sponsor, Shopify, to sell merch for my other businesses and podcasts. Seriously, it's so easy. I barely remember setting it up. It happened all in one day. In fact, the first time I used it, from having the idea at a staff meeting in the morning to selling our first product by the end of the day. It's like Shopify just read my mind, built my store, and whispered, go forth and sell. Shopify gives you the best, and me, the best checkout experience on the planet. And Shop Pay boosts conversions by up to 50%, meaning fewer abandoned carts and more cha-ching moments. Whether your customers are scrolling, strolling, or impulse buying at 2 a.m., Shopify makes sure they can click buy now wherever they are. And listen, if Shopify were a person, I'd hire it as my CFO, my COO, and possibly my life coach. It's that good. So if you're ready to upgrade your business and start living that charmed entrepreneurial life, upgrade your business and get the same checkout that I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/businessbrain. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. All right, Shannon, you're on the wisdom train is rolling today, my friend. So let's keep going with it.
Yeah. I'm going to read something to you that I wrote. I keep notes just of things to talk about that interest me, and see if I can find it here. And it kind of comes into it's related to the discussion we just had a bit, but I reminded someone of this who was having a hard time sharing about their life and trying to tell me that nobody was interested in hearing about what I did over the weekend or what I did this. And I was like, well, you're wrong. They do want to. Have you ever heard of reality television? Everyone is interested. So what I said, and I wrote it down, I said, it's human nature to discount our own experiences. Of course, we're not fascinated with our own lives. We're living it. And so we're in it. And it just maybe it seems a little bit more. I mean, hopefully you're fascinated a little bit. But what appears fascinating to other people could easily be mundane to yourself because you're you and it's your life. So I think shifting out of that framework that no one is interested in what I had for lunch or what I did today at my office or that's wrong. They are interested, and you can use those in lessons, whether, you can use them with your employees, you can use them if you're sharing on social media, you could use it with your clients and your customers. I mean, when my kids were little, my son was I don't know how old are little kids when they eat their boogers? Like 2 years old, something like that.
Wait, you're supposed to stop?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You go. That's right. I'm sure your listeners' kids never did this, but my kid, and I shared that in a newsletter that I wrote for one of my companies years and years ago. My kids are all grown up now. And that was my first sentence. My kid won't stop eating his boogers. And it got the most opens out of, I think, any newsletter I ever wrote. And it was just a hook to get them to read and to buy what I was selling at the time. But so, I just think that don't discount your own experiences. Share them with people that you love more. Share them with friends and share them with the rest of the world. People, you'll benefit from it. So will other people.
It's hard to remember this. That's the trick and it's interesting that it's hard to remember because as much as we discount our own experiences, at the same time we're discounting our own experiences, we are actively seeking out the most mundane things that other people are doing. And
that's a good
point. Right. So
doom
it's like
scrolling through somebody with their
my
cat
gosh, I
or
can't
whatever.
believe he did that. The way he trimmed his cat's claws like that. Like, well, look at that. Look at that hamburger. That looks amazing. And yet we won't, I won't think to post a picture of my hamburger or whatever. And we all know people want to see it because we're all those people. We're just not those people to ourselves. Yes. So it really is good to remember. And if you need to make it a little bit of a competition to remember, do that because it really can help. Yeah,
it does. I write this stuff down for me.
Yes. Yeah.
It makes me better. And I take all these notes for myself. I do this show for me. So I can talk about this and it trains my brain that you got to remember to do that. You got to do this.
Yes.
We've done 630 episodes of this, which is basically an hour or so a week to train my brain to be better. Yeah. And, just the fact that we happen to share it with thousands of other people, that's great. That's a fun byproduct.
It's awesome.
The fact that sponsors want to come sponsor, have us share their awesome products with our listeners, it's another byproduct. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So if it kind of comes, I don't know if I'm sure I've talked about this on the show, this concept of writing 1 page a day. It's the same kind of thing.
It's the same thing.
You're just writing stuff down that repetition to remember, to help make yourself better, to continually improve.
10,000 hours, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, if you have tricks like that you want to share with us, feedback at businessbrain.show. I would love to hear them. Help us get better, and we can help everybody else get better too.
Feedback at businessbrain.show is what he said. Email us. Send a review in. businessbrain.show/review. We'd love to have it. Keep living that charmed life. We'll see you on Friday.
See ya.
And we're out.
Cool.
Let's see. Where are we here? 67.9 and 96.8. Okay. So things are moving along.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
It's slow AF.
Yeah. If you just joined us, folks, we're in between episodes. We're actually recording for next week, not this week, but we did those earlier. But the XAI was a little flaky. I changed my word.
So you'll just have to subscribe in order to see this week's episodes. Yeah, it's just how it's going to be.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me in the least.
No, I think
so. That was just 6:30 that we did.
That was 6:30. That episode we just recorded will be released on March 12th.
Correct.
And there's some good stuff. I like that. And
these have been. I'm always a little worried when we go in to do multiple weeks at the same time that we're gonna wind up thin on, like, not that we're going to wind up without content, because I know we always, but oftentimes when we get together, we have several ideas and we whittle out the good stuff from the bad, right? And we only do the good stuff. And I worry that we'll lower the bar when we do these, 4 episodes in a sitting, and it's not happening today. That's for darn sure. Yeah.
And I think, like, what you freed me from the clock and the sense of what you're talking about when you were like, hey, it doesn't matter if we talk for 10 minutes. If it's valuable and it really, I don't even look at the clock. I don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't,
I do
anymore. I know, but that's your job.
That's my job.
You're the button. And
I'm the button pusher. Correct.
Pusher, but I'm the dumb end of the measuring tape, right? For this show.
Sure.
So it's great because I'm just like, well, I'm just going to talk what I talk, and then we'll see how it goes. So, but speaking of knobs and buttons, that's what Dave is doing now, pushing pushing our last episode up to a service we use called Auphonic that helps us process it, does a bunch of mysterious stuff in the background that I don't need to know. But later I'll go up there and push a couple more buttons, add some graphics, and that will process the whole episode for us. And then we'll post it out, which will be great.
You can do this.
It's going to do it.
Oh, it's going to do it. It's going to start. All I need to see is that it started.
Yeah, then you can do that. Okay, that's good. Look at all these nice reminders. Speaking of reminders, I also use reminders as affirmations. So I have a reminder that starts every day at 8:30 a.m. says something good is going to happen today. I have another reminder that a new source of income will be starting soon. It's been reminding me for a decade, and it is absolutely true. Always. Yep. Didn't do it.
That's brilliant, man.
Oh yeah. No, but it just reminds me of, I got some new revenue stream that's going to start pretty soon. I don't know what it is, but it's coming. It's coming. Okay, good. Is it going to start uploading? It's thinking about it. In the meantime, let me ask you a question. In your contacts on your phone, do you put people in like by what they do for you? Like, I have lists of people like Manny Concrete and Bob Riffer and Medardo
I will
Landscape.
put that in as their title.
Yeah. Oh, a title. Okay.
Yeah, not in their. I don't put it in as their name. I am someone who puts people's names in as their names.
Like most of these guys, I don't know their last name, but I know.
Right.
Excuse me. I know the service that they offer, and that's how I list it.
All right, we're rocking here.
Sweet.
It's things going. So
awesome.
We get to do this. So let's make it happen. Here we go. Business Brain, episode 631 for Casual Friday, March 14th, Pi Day. Also, National Legal Assistance Day and National Legal Assistance Day, 2025. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take some ideas and we dissect them, we analyze them, we use them to tune our business brains so that we can each do a better job of leading our charmed lives today than we did yesterday, and also tomorrow versus today, and the whole thing goes on. Shopify.com/businessbrain is where you're going to go. They are our sponsor for this episode. You can sign up for their $1 per month trial period. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, at least when I'm recording this, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And out here in Northern California, I'm Shannon Jean. Happy to be here. Happy Friday Day.
Happy Friday, my friend. Yep,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
I can't take credit for my submission to Fried AI, or at least not for coming up with the idea, but it's brilliant. You know, in ChatGPT, you can create your own GPTs of things so that it focuses and sort of learns in that particular bubble. And a Mac Geek Gab listener suggested this: create a GPT and then upload all of the PDFs from all of the user manuals from all the stuff that you own.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Right there.
Right?
Stop.
Now it's your tech support assistant, but it's correct because it's trained properly. It's not just looking at the internet at large and coming up with trying to synthesize things and getting it wrong most of the time. It's like that option doesn't exist. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. Train it
That's
specifically.
Yes. Are companies like iFixit, do you think they do that? Well, their business is...
They should. I mean, with any customer service department, if you're not using AI for your customer service, start tomorrow, immediately, because you can upload all of your previous customer service ticket history.
Right.
And instantly it's trained.
It's amazing.
You've already done the work to train it by answering people's questions. Just upload them and you're done.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
the user manual thing is killer.
Yeah, the user. So I was trying to think other things that, that's crazy. All the PDFs, all the things.
Then put it when you need to solve a problem, go into voice mode and tell it, hey, I need you to help me solve this issue with my dishwasher or whatever, right?
Yeah. Right,
Give me each step one at a time and wait for me to tell you to give me the next step.
Yeah,
and now you've got an assistant.
Could I, do you think you could do it? Like I'm thinking about this for like my content business. Could I upload every piece of content? Well, maybe I don't need to if I use Grok, I guess. But if you uploaded the full articles of everything you've written, you could go back and say, hey, I want to help me pull data from that and present it in a different way, right?
Yes.
Or try some,
what I want to do, and I actually had a conversation with ChatGPT about this the other day, and it did not have an answer for me yet, although I might be under NDA about a product that's coming that might do this.
Don't do it. Don't NDA yourself.
No, it's totally fine. What I want, because I talked about this on my other show before anything came up, but what I want is I want it to be better trained on me.
Yes.
So if I am okay with relinquishing the privacy of what I'm about to describe, then I want some AI engine that I can upload the entirety of my email archive. Now, that's not everything about me, but it's in terms of one source of data, one store, one easily digestible clump of data. Man, it's structured, it's there, and it's dated. It's got who it came from, who it went to, and there's nothing currently that exists to be able to do that. But
amazing.
If you keep all your email in Gmail, I can't imagine that we're not
Gemini. Why Gemini ought to be able to just go in there and tell you. Yeah,
I think, and that's not what I'm under NDA about. But real soon now, I would assume Gemini is going to be able to do that for you. I hope.
I would think so. I want to do something like here with the podcast. I would like to be able to. I've mentioned it to you where, hey, I want the 630 episodes we've done. I want to put them on some device that I can leave give to my kids so they have us talking for 10 years. Not that they want to listen to it, but someday.
No, but index it for them.
Yeah, index so where they could pull it up about a topic and hear us talk about it.
And as nice as that is as a legacy for our kids, what about for you, our audience right now? We would like that.
Yes.
I
like it. I have I have the opposite of that. I want to talk about that for my Friday AI.
All right, so you know that we're all about working smarter, not harder, and that's exactly why I use our sponsor Shopify to sell merch for my other businesses and podcasts. Seriously, it's so easy. I barely remember setting it up. It happened all in one day. In fact, the first time I used it, from having the idea at a staff meeting in the morning to selling our first product by the end of the day. It's like Shopify just read my mind, built my store, and whispered, "Go forth and sell." Shopify gives you the best, and me, the best checkout experience on the planet. And Shop Pay boosts conversions by up to 50%, meaning fewer abandoned carts and more cha-ching moments. Whether your customers are scrolling, strolling, or impulse buying at 2 a.m., Shopify makes sure they can click buy now wherever they are. And listen, if Shopify were a person, I'd hire it as my CFO, my COO, and possibly my life coach. It's that good. So if you're ready to upgrade your business and start living that charmed entrepreneurial life, upgrade your business and get the same checkout that I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/businessbrain. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. All right, what is your fried AI submission?
So I talked about this last year, but it's gotten so much better that I thought I'd mention again. And that is Google's Notebook LM.
Okay.
And it does a bunch of stuff, and it uses some Gemini. But one of the things that I really like is, we've done audio. Everybody does audio, and then we have transcripts and creates documents and everything. Well, this is the opposite. You take your PDFs, your articles, your anything, and put it up and upload it to Notebook, and it will create audio for you. And in a couple of different ways, it will create audio, or it'll understand it enough to where you can, obviously have a discussion with it. But what I love about it is it will have a discussion by itself. So if you have an article that you wrote, and I did an entire book. I uploaded a 250-page book, and it created an 18-minute discussion between two AI voice, that sounds supernatural.
Yeah.
I think I shared it with you last year, Dave. And
yeah, I remember that.
It was
yeah.
decent back then.
It sounded somewhat natural, but
correct.
But it was informative.
Very informative, and
yes,
it just allows you to present your stuff in a different way, whether it's a product description on your website. If you want to have somebody sitting there talking and explaining how your product works, and that you don't have to create that, that you've already got the text and everything. It's amazing. I've used it a bunch of different times. The most use case for me is taking articles I've written, posts I've written, converting it to audio and into a discussion, and then using that somewhere else. It's just repurposing that content. I think it's great. I definitely think it's worth checking out.
Huh.
It's you can get it. Just search Notebook LM. It's a Google product, and I think it's worthwhile. Check it out. Audio, like they call it audio. One of the things they promote is audio study guides.
Okay. I'm glad you said that, because the question I was going to ask is, like, why would I want to do that? But now I get it. Okay.
Audio overview. Feature can turn your sources into engaging deep dive discussions with one click. So if you've got this white paper that you really like, but you want to present it to people where they can listen to it in their car or on the subway on the way to work, it's like, hey, here you go. Here's a discussion about this concept.
Yeah.
And it breaks it down. I think it's very natural, the way that
I should clarify my sort of objection before. It is extremely natural if you accept and know going in that it was created by AI. And to be fair, I haven't messed with it in probably 6 or 8 months, so I'm sure it's more natural now. But initially people were, not you, but other people were like, oh, this is going to be great. It can just build our podcast for us. And I listened. It was like,
Yeah.
well, yes, if you make
tell
sure people know that it's AI, and then it's fine. Then it's like, okay, great. No
so
problem.
you could have, if you send an email out, like one of the ways I use Loom all the time. They have their We'll talk about that, their AI in a future episode. But I answer emails with Looms all the time. If somebody sends me an email with like a paragraph of stuff, I'm not going to type that out. I just jump on Loom. I have their email in the background as the video or as thing, and I talk and I say, hey, this is what's going on here. You can use Notebook LM in a similar fashion. If you have a bunch of content you want to present and to people that are not going to read it too long, didn't read.
Yeah,
you
right.
Try using this way.
Oh yeah, no, I love this idea of coming up with and this. Over the years, people have tried to solve this problem in many different ways of taking articles that you want to read but you haven't, and then delivering them as audio content, right?
Yes,
and it for a while it was just like, well, we'll have some robotic voice just read the article to you. It's terrible.
Yeah,
this is the best version of that so far by far. Yeah,
I would agree.
All right. Yeah. I gotta use this more.
Check it out. It's specialized. It's kind of like we talked about Grok being really good with if you're using X as a data source, right? It's just here if you're gonna do this. And I love the audio feature built in ChatGPT 2. This is just different. It presents it back to you in a different way.
Well, it's meant to be. It's meant to just be passively consumed.
Correct.
Versus the ChatGPT audio is interactive. I did notice a very, to me, valuable thing about ChatGPT's audio interactions, because I do it a lot. And when I started doing it, and up until very recently, I would ask it a question or whatever, and it would give me, the answer, and then we would start going back and forth, right? Like that's what we do. And if you haven't done that, maybe now you'll start, or maybe not. Because I'm used to conversing with humans and not robots, I had gotten into a habit, or just been in the habit, and it carried over to ChatGPT, that when it replied to me, I'm alone in my car driving, using ChatGPT. When it replied to me, I would feel an obligation to reply to it quickly. And there was something we were going through, and I went to reply, and before I said any words, I stopped myself, and I was like, I'm not sure how I want to formulate this. And so I just sat and thought about it for a minute or two, and then gave my, hey, that's great. What if we look at it this way? And I had collected my thoughts. I knew how I wanted to prompt it. Of course, I've been using ChatGPT for several years, so I've learned what it's good at responding to and, that sort of thing. But that freedom of not being obligated to respond immediately, it turns out is super powerful. And now I use it all the time, where it's like, and sometimes I'll forget that I have a session open. Like, I'll forget that I need to give it a reply. I'll know that there's a session open, but I'll be, I'll stop. Okay, yep. And I'll just start cogitating and driving and sort of, day drifting and dreaming like you do when you drive a little, and letting that sort of, background process percolation happen.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now I know what I want to ask it next. It's like you're 10 minutes after you've had a conversation with someone, you're like, dang it, I had a perfect comeback for that, or a perfect reply. Well, now you get that.
Waiting.
It doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Yeah.
It doesn't care.
Do you say thank you?
I do say thank you to it sometimes.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Well, they say it doesn't matter.
I know, but I just built that way,
I feel like when our robot overlords take over, they may go back the history of those of us that were polite to it. And,
I love it.
And the reason I keep doing it is to stay in the habit of being polite.
Of course. I think
it's not as much, it is a little bit about the robots, I'm not going to lie. But it's also, I know just how valuable saying please and thank you are. It costs you nothing and buys far more than I can ever articulate.
Yeah.
Look at my life. I really, truly think that being polite and considerate, and I fail at it all the time too, but attempting to be polite and considerate as much as I possibly can has gotten me everything that I have in life.
I agree. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, if you have some AI that we're missing out on, feedback@businessbrain.show. Let us know so we can share it here. And then also leave us a review, businessbrain.show/review. When you enter your review, you'll be entered to win a MacBook that we're giving away this year.
Yep. A MacBook, folks. A total MacBook. businessbrain.show/review. That's where you got to go. And then send us an email, feedback@businessbrain.show, so that we know you sent in that review. And add something to the email, too. It's totally fine. Keep living that charmed life. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. And we're out.
Awesome. Folks that are on the live stream, thanks for hanging out. And we will be with you in 2 weeks, but we will be posting this out. I will be sure to let you know when these episodes go live. And thanks. We appreciate your support. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you
later.